I don't know if I told you, but like I'm doing that concert on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And we're doing all of these cover songs. This is like one of the guitar players is just like this super cool girl, and like I'm not gonna say her name. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. But like, well, I fuck her. Her name's Brady. She's fucking cool as shit. There's nothing bad about it. And Brady's just cool as fuck. But she picks like, but she always picks like these over the top like 80s ones. Like she did the Final Countdown one year, and it's fucking Brady. And so this year she's doing "We Built This City" by Starship.
Yeah.
And I have to listen to it because I have to do the backups because I'm the backup singer. And like I've been listening to it quite a lot. And I what a song. What a song, because like it's not good.
We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock.
I'm Ted Cruz, and I approve this message.
But it's got this like thing there, like that chorus is like, it's something. It's powerful. It's powerful in this way, but the thing that really gets me is like, so it's like it's that period in the 80s, and I'm not sure when that was released. I'm feeling a strong 1987 vibe from that. In fact, I'm gonna just pause and look that up real quick. Let's find out. Google that. Find out when we built this city. I might be wrong. It might be earlier, like 84. But like it's hard.
85.
85.
It's classic 80s.
So it's 85. It's just smack dab in the shit. Like, this is like you don't get more. It's just 85. And so it's like okay. And then like that came out, and like it's just got that 80s like power, like Rocky 2 kind of thing. And it's just like, okay. But like that's part of it. And then like, but then like the whole song, because like, okay, so like the Starship is Jefferson Airplane. It's Grace Slick.
Jefferson Airplane to Jefferson Starship to Starship.
To Starship.
And I have things before we go anywhere. I have things to say about Jefferson Airplane.
Should we do that now, or should I?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If people are just like, and we just talked about this earlier. We were talking about our business thing about like carry yourself with the confidence of mediocre white boys, and you're like, what do you even mean mediocre white boys? How are women held back? And here's the thing, Jefferson Airplane's first big success, Surrealistic Pillow, and you listen to that. Huge. But you listen to that, and you listen to White Rabbit. And you listen to Somebody to Love, and you realize that Grace Slick is like one of the most amazing lead singers in the history of rock music.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Then you realize that actually Grace Slick is the co-lead singer of Jefferson Airplane, and you listen to the rest of that album, and that is mediocre white boys. Like, it's just not up. It's not the same. It's not as good.
It's different. I feel differently because I'm very familiar with that record.
Yeah.
I've listened to it a lot. I actually think it's a really good record. Most of it's really good. Even some of the stuff that the dude sings, and I don't know his name. I forget his name. They had a huge fight in like the 70s, and because I think they were like did a Fleetwood Mac thing where they all fucked each other. And Grace Slick fucked everybody in that band.
The one guy got punched out at Altamont by Hell's Angels.
I think that's the guy that was probably the other singer. Yeah. And like I think he was like in love with Grace, and she was just free love, baby. Sorry, yeah. Take a number, fuck twat. I gotta fuck this dude over here. And he got mad. He got jealous, and like I saw some like weird like documentary on them, and like anyway, they had a falling out, and like and it was like, okay, both of these people have like different perspectives on all of this, but I definitely leaned with Grace, but anyway. point of it is like so they went on to Jefferson Starship. He left the band, and like he was like a founding member. Like it was him and Grace started the band, and he was like, it was like a Roger Waters thing. It's like, you can't keep Jefferson Airplane. I'm Jefferson Airplane.
He's Axl
They had
Rose.
like litigation, stuff like that. And she's like, fine, we'll be Jefferson Starship. Fuck you. So they were, and they're like, then they did Starship, and they released We Built This City, you know, that like, which I don't think a lot of people knew that was Jefferson Airplane, that's Grace Slick. But like, that song is like, it's like, okay, like, because that, in a way, it is the absolute, like, because Grace Slick was like, she was the queen of the San Francisco, like, psychedelic movement in the 60s. That's Grace fucking Slick, like, big deal. Like, you know, and Jefferson Airplane was a big deal. They made the San Francisco acid rock scene. They started it, them and the Dead.
Yeah.
Like, and so like it gets to the 80s and you get that, and it's just like, to me, it's just a roadmap for the degeneration of the boomer into Reaganomics. Like, but the thing is I'm siding, like, I have to finish this.
No, yeah, you have to.
Like, because like, she's actually singing about the stuff in that song is actually anti-Reaganomics. Like, she's keeping it real in her Rocky II style with the Casio orchestra hits. But the reason I bring this up is there's a line in that song, like, where they're singing, because like everyone knows the chorus. We built this city on rock and roll. Yeah, and so like, but then there's the verses, which no one knows. But like, one of the lines is knee deep in the hoopla.
Fucking Joe Biden. Joe Biden wrote that line.
It's a very Joe Biden line. And here's the thing about it is not only is that, I heard that, it's like, oh my God, that's maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard in a song. Well, no, not the dumbest, because everything Fred Durst ever said was stupider. But
whoa, what's going on here?
What? Are you going to come to bat? No, I will pause my story for you coming to bat for Fred Durst. Let's hear it.
I only will say this. In every trans girl's soul, the song Break Stuff is playing nonstop. And
is that a Limp Bizkit song?
And how loud it's playing is how much you should stay away from them. Yes, it is. I don't know. You should listen to Break Stuff. Should I? Should we
take a break?
It's like 2.5 minutes of your life. Yeah, I am not a Limp Bizkit fan, but I will listen. I will listen to that song all day.
I fucking hope not.
I will listen to that song all day.
Next thing you know, you're gonna come to the next episode in full Juggalo paint.
Now, hold on. Why do you got to go against Juggalo? I got nothing against Juggalo.
No, I got nothing against. All
right, okay.
I don't have any. I don't have a lot of things. I treat the Juggalos like spiders. They're not my friends, but they're not my enemies.
Keep the mosquitoes at bay.
My friends. It's like okay. You. I respect your space and your thing, and you've got a code. And I can get behind that. Anyone with a code, it's like, I don't agree with all of it, but I think some of your shit's fucking ridiculous, but that's okay. You're cool. You can exist. The Juggalos are cool. I got nothing against them. They got our back. The Juggalos are all about trans rights and fucking all that shit. So, hey. Juggalos, yeah. Like I said, like spiders. They're not my enemies.
They keep other pests at bay.
I don't want them in my house. It's like, I'm not going to say outright no juggalos, and I'm not going to kill a juggalo if they're in my house, but I'll escort them out.
I will like, you'll slide them on a piece of paper and walk them to the door and
like
then slide them off.
a juggalo on a piece of paper. It's like, get a glass over the top, you know? It's like, come on, juggalo. It's like, here you go, out the back. You're like, oh, how do magnets work?
I do have something. When you asked me to search for about this song, one of the Google questions that pops up is "We Built This City" the worst song of all time? And it says, at the time, Starship's most famous member, singer Grace Slick, was 46. But over the years, as 80s music began to sound dated and ludicrous, and no song sounds more 80s than "We Built This City," it developed a hideous reputation. The worst song of all time.
That's
also,
wild.
One of the writers, Bernie Taupin, who writes all of
That's Bernie Taupin wrote that?
One of four accredited writers.
Wait, Bernie Taupin wrote "We Built This City," or he wrote that article?
He wrote the song.
Bernie Taupin wrote "We Built This City"
with three other guys who.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. He probably came up with the chorus. He came up with that part that we all know, and we're all like, yeah, we built this.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think just for a second, let's just clarify. For those of you that don't know, Bernie Taupin is who co-wrote all Elton John's.
Elton John's stuff,
like, so Yellow Brick Road, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, all the things that made Elton John was Bernie Taupin. It was Bernie Taupin. Elton John wrote the music, but he worked with Bernie Taupin. Like, so the fact that he wrote "We Built This City" fucking wild. I had no idea. Like, that's what they did. That's what they came up with?
That's what they came up with. And it was, you know where that's from.
They came up with "We Built This City."
Do you know where else that was used? That was in the movie Mannequin. where the mannequin, Kim Cattrall plays a mannequin who comes to life.
Kim Cattrall plays the mannequin that comes to life and fucks like John Cryer in a Target. Like,
where else would a mannequin fuck Amanda?
Or am I kidding? Wait, was that the same one? Mannequin, am I thinking of? Wasn't there one with like Jennifer Connelly that was the same?
That might have been
like
Mannequin.
Opportunity Knocks.
That might have been Mannequin 2.
Mannequin 2 was Jennifer Connelly.
I have no idea. Look,
I think it was. I don't think it was Mannequin. I think it was like a separate movie that just bit Mannequin. It's like, and I'm pretty sure it's called Opportunity Knocks, and that like.
I believe Michael J. Fox was in Opportunity Knocks.
Target, like, and it's like just basically, just being, Jennifer Connelly's hotness, like, is the movie, like, and then like, and like it's something like, I don't understand that weird genre of 80s movie. Was there's the one with like Michael Anthony Hall where like they made like
Weird Science,
where they made, what was her name?
They made the girl out of Science.
She was the model, but she was kind of famous. Like, she has a name. I forget.
Don't remember her name. No.
Yeah, but but all those movies where it's just like, oh, whoa, the nerdy dude gets the hot shit.
But you're talking about the 80s where everything was about greed and owning stuff, and all the movies with women were possessing women or
except
owning
for
women.
We Built This City, because they talk about like they're anti-core, like everyone is playing corporation games.
Man,
which I mean is like, okay, so does that? So
I'm going to have to send you to some sort of place to
mean they're just like playing a
after
choir? But like that line though, the knee deep in the hoopla, like, it's such a bad line. But they loved it so much that they named that album that. The album that song's on is called Knee Deep in the Hoopla. They're like, this is great. This is fucking genius. We built this city on rock and roll. Hell yeah, we did, because we're knee deep in the hoopla. Quit playing your corporation games.
Can I screen share the picture that is assigned? I guess this might have been to the single. Or
please
something.
Do. Please do.
Right.
Oh my, that's the single for Jesus Christ. Is that Grace Slick in the bottom left there?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's her. You can tell by her face, but like, good God. Wow. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Although, if we're being fair, if I had transitioned and I was like 15, 16 at this time, I'd be wearing
She's
this.
46.
I'd have been wearing this.
She's a year older than me. Like, like that's a 46-year-old adult woman. I mean, that outfit's kind of amazing. Hair
this tic-tac-toe right here is killing me.
That's pretty much like, that's a bingo if I've ever seen it.
No idea what's going on there. They're just like, here, you guys, we want you guys to do a pose that says cool rock band. And this guy was like, nailed it.
I mean, the fucking guy on the top right though, like that hair, like it's like I don't know what's going on there. It's like, because it's like, definitely, is he falling? Is he bending down? Like,
now there's a bird nesting on his head that's just about to take off.
It's like, yeah, that's not a good. None of that's good. No. There's nothing here like that. That color scheme is just like, I mean, I would say the most 1985 thing I've ever seen.
If you're trans now and you're growing up, you're millennial or whatever, you're Gen Z or whatever is after Gen Z, and you wonder why the older trans are so traumatized. It's we grew up with these color schemes as acceptable ways to exist in the world.
Well, and then there's the fashion. I mean, we talked about shoulder pads, didn't we?
We have not talked about shoulder pads.
Never talked about shoulder pads.
No.
So let's get rid of the screen here. I think we've seen enough.
You sure?
Starship.
I don't think we've seen enough.
But like, okay, so there throughout history, every decade kind of has its signature thing. Like, it's like, and like, the 70s had the like afros and like the crazy wild clothes that's mixing stripes and plaid, and like, the puke orange everything, and like the 80s were that.
Oof.
And the 90s were like earth tones and grunge, and like until late, at least half of it. I like the aughts are kind of hard to parse, but anyway, point of it is like there were like some fashion crimes in every decade, and like this is like, I mean, I'm focusing on women, but like in the 80s, I think the biggest fashion crime was the shoulder pads. Like like it was just commonplace to have like blazers with gigantic shoulder pads, and I think it was like a thing because the 80s were like the first time where like women were allowed to work, like were entering the workforce, and I think, and there were like 80s, there were women executives, kind of, sort of. Yeah. Like, and I think that was like this thing to like compete with men or something.
Look at them broad shoulders.
What it was, but like, you're a woman you're a female executive. You need to look powerful. Let's give you gigantic shoulders. Like give you that, make you look more like a man, so you can fit in the boardroom.
Fit right in the boardroom.
Even though you're still probably getting the coffee, but that was like the worst. And then the 90s was like the dark lip liner with pink lipstick. Do you remember that? Yeah, that was a thing. I was in California when that was going on, and I was just like watching it with like horror. I was like, why are you doing this? Like, you do know what you look like, right? Like, you look like a fucking blow-up doll. Like, you do know that, right? Like Jesus, like that's terrible. But like, anyway, I don't know where it's going at, but like,
I think it's like I've bought stuff like at thrift stores that had shoulder pads in it, and it always screws me up when I'm trying to put it on, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, no, shoulder pads are unacceptable. If an article of clothing, if a top be it a jacket or anything for women has shoulder pads in it, you do not get it. You throw it right. You don't even hang it back up. You just drop it on the floor because that's all
it deserves. Pads out. You just cut the shoulder pads out.
Well, I don't get it because it has shoulder pads in it. I'm not going to get anything that anyone decided to put shoulder pads in. It's going to fuck up the whole thing. Cut out the shoulder pads. Yeah, it'd be okay. But like the thing was designed to have shoulder pads. So it's like,
my frame provides the shoulder pads that
yeah it's like
they actually fits better.
Oh,
it's okay. It's okay.
God.
Welcome to Girl Dick with Ted Cruz. I'm Lilith Zarling. That's Amanda Bonanza. Ted could not make it this week. For whatever reason, Ted could not make it this week.
He's snowed in. Snowed in Texas. He's snowed in down for that rough Texas winter.
Yep.
Like, yeah. I don't know. Ted Cruz. I'm paying attention to Ted Cruz.
I've stopped wondering. I've stopped checking in with him. I've stopped asking.
Yeah.
He's like carbon copied on
this point.
He's been invited to the recording sessions. He never pops in, so whatever.
I stopped getting the emails. I don't get any Ted Cruz emails. It's like a postcard. I feel like I should at least get like a "Wish You Were Here" postcard. It's like with decals from around.
Yeah, right. Come on,
like
Ted
Cruz like giving a thumbs up in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Wish you were here. I saw an event he was hosting, and the poster they used an old picture before his beard, and I forgot how ridiculous, like as ridiculous he looks with the beard. I forgot how ridiculous he looks
better
without
with
it.
the beard, for sure.
Yeah. I cannot believe he was ever elected without that beard.
It's like little round like cheeks with
I'm Texas tough. It's like, what?
Like a little apple face.
Oh,
Teddy.
Oh, Ted.
Come back.
Yeah,
Teddy, come back to the show. Teddy, we miss you.
Everyone wants your insight.
Me and Lilith, we can't go on without you.
Not true. I think all of us, and by us I mean the two of us, the trans population, the United States, the world in general, could go on without Ted Cruz.
Just gonna start listing things that would be fine without Ted Cruz.
And it turns out everything.
A long list.
It's a long fucking list.
We should just like come back. We should get a guy that is how like some things, if we were more like enlightened, and like we get like the little person in the corner who does like the sign language.
Yeah.
Like the ASL. So like you could have that in the corner, except it wouldn't be doing sign language. It would be just a guy like listing off things that doesn't need Ted Cruz.
Doesn't need Ted Cruz.
Like,
we should hire a scientist to study what could and could not survive without Ted Cruz and just get like regular updates.
But we need your help, folks. We need you to contribute to our Patreon.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of things that your money's going to go to. Is like
funding scientific experiments.
Scientific things, like list off things that would be just fine if Ted Cruz was not involved with them. Like, that's important work that we're doing here, and we need your help.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, we proved that Ted Cruz's own podcast, Girl Dick with Ted Cruz, is just fine without Ted Cruz.
We've been doing okay. I mean, it's hard to say because we don't have the data with him here.
True. We only have the control.
We don't have that. Yeah. What's the other one called?
The experiment.
I'm on my scientific method. I don't know.
We have the control group. We don't have the group that's getting Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
But we're just fine with that.
I don't know. Wouldn't that be the control group?
No, the control.
This is why we need Ted Cruz. You know who would know? Ted.
The control is. The control is, how does it do without Ted Cruz? It's like if you're doing like a medicine, one group gets the medicine, the control group gets a placebo. So
Are you sure it's not the control group gets the medicine?
Why you got to do this? You know,
because I don't know.
Because I'm right. Just trust that I'm right.
Is that how science works?
Exactly. Now you're getting it.
Just believe me.
Just believe me.
Unconditionally, it's science.
Yeah. Well, you get it. You get it.
I'm not trying to make your life difficult. I'm not trying to like say that you don't know what you're talking about. I am just saying that I don't know what the difference is because I've never.
A control group is separated from the rest of the experiment where the independent variables are being tested and cannot influence the results. So Girl Dick with Ted Cruz, when Ted shows up, that's the experiment. Without Ted Cruz, that's the control group. How would this do without Ted Cruz? Because that's what we're studying. We're studying what can survive, what needs Ted Cruz, and we just realized that his own podcast, Girl Dick with Ted Cruz, does not need Ted Cruz.
What needs Ted Cruz?
I think that might
be a title of this one. I think we got our title.
That sounds like something like from a Shakespearean sonnet. What needs Ted Cruz?
What needs Ted Cruz?
What needs Ted Cruz? Oh. Man, we really, you're right. We did
a really shitty Dr. Seuss book.
What needs Ted Cruz? Not my booze, not these shoes. I can change a fuse without Ted Cruz. Can you cruise without Ted Cruz?
Yeah, I can't keep pace. It's on you. Oh,
what needs the cruise is the nightly news.
I'm getting the vapors. Is too much.
Cable news needs Ted Cruz. There you go.
Cable news needs Ted Cruz.
Actually, I think
cable news.
No, Ted Cruz needs cable news more than the other way around. If it wasn't for someone replaying his stupid ass sound bites,
Cruz is fine without Ted Cruz.
Yeah, everything would be just fine without Ted Cruz. You could take a snooze without Ted Cruz. Win or lose, you don't need Cruz. Man, I hope this wins me some sort of free flowing, poetry YouTube podcasting award.
I just gotta throw a dank beat over the top of that.
I think you should. I think when
rap battle contest.
When we get big enough and we release like a weird album of funny songs, this will be the first one. What needs Ted Cruz?
What needs Ted Cruz?
Let's dip into the questions.
You got some questions?
Oh, I got some good questions. All right. Confidence advice. Bum, bum, bum. I'm pretty new to trans experience stuff. I've only been aware that I'm trans since July of this year. Technically had some non-binary stuff happening in June, but it didn't really fully kick in until I found the first right label in July.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a while before I can medically transition any further than hormone blockers, and I've got pretty bad dysphoria. I'm sure of my identity, as in I don't question if I'm actually trans or not. Not in any meaningful way, at least. I definitely get irrational, anxious doubts. But I'm very affected by transphobia and all that awful stuff. I see some trans people who have kind of learned to not take it serious and to laugh it off more than anything else. So is there anything I should know regarding this? I'd also like this to be a general discussion of the topic. Well, this is they posted this somewhere.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, that's what
this is what we're going to have, a general discussion. I really don't feel like giving the transphobes more power by getting upset, but I really don't know how to help it.
So basically what this question asker is asking is how do I be not upset at transphobic and hostile transphobic things in the world?
Yeah, they're very bothered by these things, and they see people probably like us who who kind of making fun of transphobes.
Ted Cruz, not one
You don't need Ted Cruz, yeah. We built this city.
We built this city
on the bones of transphobes.
Yeah. Ted Cruz. We didn't build this city with Ted Cruz. You didn't need him.
But yeah.
Starship needs no Ted Cruz.
No.
We're never going to get away from this.
America is never going to get away from it. They're never going to live down. All right.
Here's the thing. Question asker, you are 100% right to be outraged by the transphobia. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible. It's really fucking scary, actually. And the threats, the looming danger of the fascist party in the United States that is eventually going to come to, like, the things that they're doing and saying and stuff, it's terrifying. It's like this is not it's not hyperbolic to say it's parallel to the rhetoric of Germany right before Hitler took power. It's identical, in fact, and it's really scary. So the thing about that is we're all outraged and we're all very angry about it. You're not alone. And so when you see someone like us or like anyone like making light of it or not bothered by it, they're not bothered by it. It's like you get to a certain point where like you realize that there's nothing you can really do about it, and that getting angry and upset about it isn't making your life better. At least that's what I did. Like, it's like I can't, I hate to admit this, but like there's a certain amount of like, I can't watch the news anymore. Like, I used to be a total news junkie. I used to watch it every day. I used to keep up with it. I was like involved in politics and like campaigning, and like I was a campaign strategist for a couple campaigns. Like, I did the whole thing, and I stopped because I was just angry and upset all the time. And like, when the news, when the rhetoric is as bad as it is, it's a defense mechanism. Like, you have to like, the solution for me is I have to like tune it out and like if I make light of it, it's because that's like all I can do. Like, and quite frankly, like part of it's just like, I just poke my head in the sand and ignore it, because like it's inevitable, it's common, it's dangerous. Like, and I won't lie to you, I am every day wondering when the day is gonna be when I have to leave the country in a hurry. Like, I'm very aware of this, and I think all trans people are. It's because it's really bad. So you're not wrong. Like, you're not wrong. Yeah. We're all that upset. It's just like after a while of being there, you just get to a point where it's like you just can't do it. Yeah. So you have to tune it out. You get numb to it. Like, and so it's not, that'll happen organically. Be mad, be angry, be outraged, like take some fucking action. It's terrible. You are correct to be upset. Like, it's upsetting.
Yeah, I would say, one thing, and I agree with all of that. One of the reasons we try to avoid politics in this podcast is because when it does come up, we're out of here. We're like, it is something you do have to worry about.
It ceases being entertaining anymore.
Yeah. And so one thing I always say is, it's very important to spend your energy where it's going to do the most good. And, one thing is, you don't have to engage with transphobes. If someone gets in your face and asks you, like the fucking Matt Walsh, like, what is a woman? You don't have to engage with that person. That person's not trying to have an honest conversation to reach a middle ground with you. That person's trying to harass you. So you do not have to engage with those people. And where I choose to spend my energy is, one, on this podcast and things where I'm supporting and working with trans people who I can uplift and who I can help. And also, we're working with people who, I don't want to call them on the fence, but they don't know anything about trans people. They don't hate trans people, but you know what, all they're getting from the media is this kind of outrageous shit, which is kind of hard to believe. And so engaging with people who are just unfamiliar with trans people, and so many people don't even know a trans person, or at least think they don't know a trans person.
Yeah.
And so having those kinds of engagements, because honestly, to win the philosophical battle, you don't have to win 100% of the people to your side. You have to win 51%, 52%. You just have to cross that line. And so we could spend all day arguing with the extreme far right of this world. But that's unnecessary because they're not looking to learn. They're not looking to
learn, and they're not arguing in good faith. Like they're not doing anything but being antagonistic.
Right.
It's their whole jam.
The answers to all their questions are available through a simple Google search. They know the truth. They're not interested in the truth. So having those arguments, and you didn't mention that, but I would say that's the first thing, is remove yourself from those situations.
Yeah. Don't argue on Facebook with people.
Don't argue on any social media.
Yeah. Don't argue with strangers on social media over it. It's not worth your time. Not only is it not worth your time, but when you do that, the algorithm changes and tweaks your feed to give you more of that. So you're just going to increase your antagonism.
And all your trans friends you're connected with are going to see that you commented on this post. I can't tell you how many times I wasn't even aware of something. And it's like, so-and-so commented on this, and it's someone, and not most trans people that I'm friends with don't do this, but it's usually someone, just whatever myriad of right-wing bullshit they're putting on. Like someone argues you guys are wrong and you're liars. And like, great, now I've seen this. So like I said.
And it brings your whole day down, and it ruins your whole day.
Yeah. So, know who you are. You're on your journey. Find those people who support you, support those people who are in your community. And when you have the opportunity to educate someone who really is interested in learning and wants to know about trans people, or has never met a trans person. I mean, honestly, that's why I really tried to travel to do my one-person show. I loved going to North Carolina. I loved going to Florida. I loved going to Alabama and meeting people who had never met a trans person. And there was one theater in North Carolina that I started going to, and they were a comedy theater. They did improv, and one of the people mentioned that I'd been there a couple times over 2 or 3 months, and they had more trans people coming to shows. And that's really what it is. I want to reach those people. I want to be visible for other trans people, and I want to support other trans people. And that's where you need to spend your energy. And that energy arguing with hard right transphobes is just going to drain you, and it's going to defeat you. And that's the thing, is they
energy know. And it not only is it wasted, it actually fuels them. That's what
fuels them. Yeah. Yeah.
That gives them the ammunition that they need, is because that's all they're doing. They're just there to get that rise out of you. That's their whole thing, is owning the libs. It's like they don't have a political philosophy. They're just antagonistic people that just get off on making people upset and making people angry.
And they didn't invent it. This is something people anti-Semitics did it, in Germany, where they set up these false things. They're like, well, prove this, and you don't have to prove shit.
You don't have to prove shit. That's on them.
Prove shit.
And they're wrong about they're factually incorrect, not only ethically wrong, but they're factually
what we should do?
Incorrect.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to start a thing where if you're on Reddit or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, every time you see something transphobic, instead of and if you know what, there are some people, there are some people who they can do that. If you can mentally do that, that's your thing, have that argument. I would say if you see it, reach out to a trans friend of yours and just see if you can support them, or tell them that you've got their back, or that you love them, and take that every time you see that negative out there, build that positive network with your other trans friends and really support them. That was a pretty great idea. I just came up with that while we were sitting here. I thought that was a pretty great idea. So, and now any transphobes watching this, they know anytime they post some shit, they're just a network of support trans to trans people is going to go out, and they're like, fuck, they're defeating us.
I wonder how many, if there are trans folks watching this. I really do.
No one's driving by my house yet. So
no, we haven't gotten any. We're not there yet. But I do wonder. It's like because I think a lot of transphobes are like secretly fetish us too, and it's just like, and so it's like I wonder, hey bud, you watching? Is this what you're here for? Like, yeah, it's like I just wonder, like, how many, like, I don't know, this doesn't make any difference, like it's like bottom line is like, it's like both of that, it's like, but how do you not be outraged, how do you not be upset? You'll figure out a way, out a way to not do it, because eventually you just figured this out in July. You haven't started medically transitioning, so that also tells me, if you're not able to start, that tells me that you're probably younger, that you're probably under 18, and that, like, and we're older. We're in, I'm in my 40s, Liz is in her 50s, and you get numb to that.
I tell everyone I'm like 28. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I wouldn't have said anything if you hadn't said it before. I thought it was okay.
It's common knowledge. It's common knowledge. It's common knowledge.
You.
No, it's okay.
I mean, not in the biblical sense.
I mean,
anyway, but like, we're also Gen Xers. Like we grew up being cynical and numb to this sort of thing.
Latchkey kids were just like out here surviving on our own.
We developed a thick outer shell, like, at a young age, and like, and it kind of defines our generation, for good or for ill. Like, and I'm not bragging about it. It's just kind of something that we all had to deal with. Like, and we all did this. Like, and like, that's bad. It's not necessarily apathy, because we do care, but like, it's a defense mechanism.
Well, I think it's a lack of trust in institutions, because we did not have those institutions. We did not have, like, I think it's a joke when the Republicans talk about the family unit, and I'm like, I don't know, my mom and dad both had to work full time for us to survive.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I don't even think they've done that. Since George Bush. Like, but like, I mean, that's the thing, is like, I mean, even all of that stuff, it's like, it's like, it's so many things like that have just built up. It's like, we don't trust institutions. It's like, but like, really, it's just like, we're just jaded. I am just a jaded person. I'm very cynical in the sense that, like, I've seen it all before. Like, it's like, the only thing that surprises me and shocks me is when other people are shocked by someone doing something incredibly predictable, like a right-winger saying something outrageously racist or transphobic or something. It's like, oh, did that guy that is openly transphobic say something transphobic? And then they're like, I can't believe he said it. Oh, someone should say something. It's like, yeah, they should. Like, I'm not gonna, I mean, that's the thing, is like, you will get to a point where you do become kind of hardened where you harden your heart like Pharaoh, like, it's like, like, and that's not necessarily a good thing, but it's a survival tactic. It's like you can only take so much of that before your actual health starts suffering from it, and your mental health, and like, you can't function in a day-to-day capacity because you're so upset all the time. Like, so you have to figure out ways to get through the day. And that's older stuff. You're young enough where, like, that's not really probably a concern right now. Maybe, I don't know. I can't speak to it. I'm being assumptive, but like, right now, I'd say, if in fact you are a teenager, like, you hold on to that anger, you hold on to that outrage, you fucking do something about it. Be the change in the world that you want to see. Like, I'm too old to do it now. I did what I could.
You are changing the world. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying, this is like, and this is Lilith and my outlet to do stuff like this. This is how we've decided to do it. Mm-hmm. Like, but there's no wrong. This isn't like necessarily a blueprint, or like, this is just what we like to do, that the way that we feel like we can most positively affect the world. And like, and all the other stuff that we do in our lives outside of this podcast. But like, but yeah, we make light of it because it's the only thing left. Like, it's desperation.
And like I said, it really is the thing. Like if you are wherever you are, if you're younger, if you're in high school or something, and you have to identify your strengths and what you can do. And you see this a lot when, like, in 2020 when there were protests, it's like maybe what you're here for is not to be on the front lines. Maybe you are here to do medical stuff at a protest to make sure that people have that. Maybe it's about having safe housing for people, or maybe it is it's just like, maybe you're a writer and you can write something that will have an effect. But it's like really identifying your skills, and then, like Amanda said, be that change. And that no change comes from arguing with those people. So don't worry about that. You don't have to convince them. If you can start something at school, if you can support other kids at school, those are the places where you can have the most effect.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think that's the thing, is so many people get sucked up in every time someone says something, outrageous, we all don't have to run and talk to that person. And I think there are people, like, I think it's valuable, like when some transphobic shit, like a Chappelle episode or Ricky Gervais or J.K. Rowling, I think there are people out there who they want to jump in those waters, and they're mentally strong enough, and it doesn't affect them. If they want to do that, that's fine. But you don't have to do that, and that doesn't make you. That's not a judgment on you. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not obligated to do that. You're not obligated to fight every moment of your day to exist. You can just exist, and sometimes existing is enough. Sometimes other people seeing you exist is exactly what they needed. I honestly think most of those people, like, here's the thing. I live my day to day. I live in a rural area. Probably a lot of transphobes here. No one ever says anything to me. No one ever bothers me. And I think that's because in real life, most of these people, have no idea what they're talking about and are cowards. That's not necessarily 100% true. So I am careful. I do watch myself. But I also realize, like, I'm going to go to the store and no one's going to.
God damn it, I'm buying them tortillas.
Fuck yeah, man. I have a craving for chips and salsa. I want chips and salsa. Damn it.
It's my goddamn right as an American to get Cool Ranch Doritos.
Anyway, welcome to the club.
I gotta say,
stay safe. Take whatever meds you end up taking. Stay hydrated. Love your neighbor.